Alright guys, we're going to just cycle through really quickly the items that we used in this video. Link is going to be in the description for all of these things in case you want to do this project also. First thing you would want to do, first thing I did, is go and figure out the overall dimensions of your flag. And I'm going to link this website in the description also, but you just put in your main length and width and it tells you everything else. So it's really nice and handy. I had this old shelf board in my garage, so I just decided to use this because it was really close. I just went ahead and cut it down to dimensions, filled the holes, and then sanded it really nice. So really quickly, I understand that unfortunately this video kind of looks like it was shot with a potato in some areas, but it's the same camera. Obviously I've just messed up the settings. Anyway, I'm going to fix that, and it does get better later on, so please just stick with me, bear with these areas of the video. But anyway, so just give it another couple of coats, or give it a couple of coats of black. Doesn't matter, just any kind of latex paint will work. If you have spray paint, that works fine also. Just make sure you get the edges really well. Then you're going to take your aluminum tape and you're going to pull out to the size that you need. You're going to need enough to cover the front. You're going to need these 6 stripes. So just cover the front and enough to cover the to go down the edges as well. Now mine ended up being 1.5 inches, so I just went ahead and marked out 1.5 inches and then used my ruler to connect those points. And once I had done all 6 of those strips for the stripes, then you're just going to use the scissors. Aluminum tape cuts really easy. It's not a hard thing to do at all. Just take your time and don't worry about trying to go too fast. It's supposed to be crafts and it's supposed to be fun. So you just cut all 6 of your stripes. And then I use this metal cast paint that I fell in love with because it works really, really well to give you, to allow the metal to show through. I used it on my Captain America flag, and ever since then I just continued to use it for anything metal because it just works really well. So while that's drying, you can go ahead and take your tape and just cut out 50 stars. It's going to take you a little while, but unfortunately, but it doesn't take that long. So I went ahead and mocked it up afterwards. Just make sure that you have a black stripe at the top, black stripe at the bottom, and then just even everything out. I didn't worry about measuring or anything like that. I just went ahead and eyeballed everything, and it turned out really, really well. So just make sure you're putting it down straight. When you're just laying it down and then making sure everything is really well attached. And then I figured out at one point that if you pull up the tape and then you reseat it afterwards, it gives you a really, really nice texture. And that texture is going to work really well later on. So that's what you see me doing right now, is that you just pull it up, and then when you put it back down, it gives these little dimples. And those little dimples are going to be great for holding all of that black paint to give it the weathered kind of vintage old look. So don't worry about if you pull up a little bit of the paint, because honestly, you're going to be going over it with black anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So I went ahead, I just pulled it up and then reseated everything on all sides, and made sure that I had put it back down, moderately straight. I'm pretty sure I didn't do it exactly perfectly, but it's close enough. For those other 3 stripes at the top, I didn't pull the tape, the backing all the way off of the tape, because I measured out exactly the size of the field for the stars was going to be, and then I just used the ruler to connect all those points. And then whenever I cut off the stripes right there, it just left a perfect little edge so that it looks like that's exactly where the pattern is supposed to start for the feet, the backing for the field. So if you put it down like that, the only other thing that I did right here is just made sure that everywhere had texture, so that everywhere can be all the same texture, or at least close to it. So I pulled that little piece up right there and reseated it, because back at the end over there by the field, it didn't have enough texture. Then you start, do a dry run, lay out your stars so that you know where everything's going to go. And there's going to be 6 across in these columns and 5 down. and these are the main columns. Once you have those, it's really easy because all you have to do is put your other columns that are going to have the 4 stars. You just put those in between and you center it all, and it works really well. After that, just make sure everything is down really well, and then start grabbing one by one, grabbing your stars. This is the tedious bit, and stick them down. I just went ahead after that, just took some sandpaper. You can use sandpaper or steel wool, and just rough up, the aluminum tape, rough up the stars, just kind of giving it a little bit more texture. And then you just start applying paint. So you're going to take, black paint, and you're just going to apply it. You can apply it really thick, and then you wipe it off with a paper towel. And you don't have to wipe it off really hard. You just kind of give it gentle wipes, and the paint's going to stick in all of those little crevices and cracks and leave you with a weathered finish. It looks really nice. It looks like it's been, has a lot of age to it. And the more you do it, the more of the effect that you get. So you just go over everything, stars, stripes, all of it, and then you just do it as many times as you like. Because, I might like a lot of weathering, you might like a little weathering, you might like more. It doesn't really matter. But once you have all of that settled and you have everything finished and it's to your liking, the only thing that's really left to do is to go through and use some sort of a lacquer, some sort of a finish that's going to be a protective coating. I always choose gloss for this, and I just happen to have some varnish sitting on the shelf, so I use that. That's the finished product right there. I think this turned out really well, considering this really should only take you maybe an hour, hour and a half, and you can go from start to finish. And you have a nice weathered, shiny, everything looks metal. I know it doesn't look quite as great in the pictures, but in person this turns out to look really, 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 really good. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you again. Hope you liked it.